きてり込む手がふらる閉じに身はやらせんで手めちきの酒この尻時もこれて漏れちての魂で明日の君開けノクシェスはの襟だけ進め嘘ましめりもそれなり守りたい世界いやこう手で吠えてゆけ金がされも言わずつか燃える心は地も所な近いコントロールすげて回るような
Mia narrates, I was really surprised to hear that we were on Yidrit. It's very different from the last time, its atmosphere and energy have changed since the last time, but the good thing is that we were on a familiar planet and with people I know. Let's talk to him so he can give us a place to sleep, I told Whis, and we headed towards the top of a mountain. Upon arriving at that place, there was a small house. It was a bit humble. The lights were on and outside in a chair was a person holding a cup while looking at the moon. I see that you are still with your hobby Pibera, Mia said to the person as she approached him. The one called Pibera smiled and lowered his gaze to see the goddess of destruction approaching. It's been a long time, Mrs. Miu. What brings you here? I was planning to leave as soon as my Goku recovered, but was told me we were in Yidrit. And the truth is it's very different from the last time, Miu replied while looking around. Yidrit has changed since he saved us from those villains. Luckily it was all for the best. So that boy is his partner. What happened to him? Pyrala asked curiously. He inhaled toxic gas from a planet in the midst of destruction while fighting against Frisia. Luckily was healed him so that he wouldn't wake up until a week later, the goddess replied while looking fondly at the Sien. Wow, against Frisia? If he is here it means he won. So when he recovers, he wants you to train him, right? She asked her with a slight smile. How did you realize? I don't remember you being perceptive, Miu replied playfully, sticking out her tongue. I had in mind, sounded quite suspicious, especially coming from you, Mrs. Miu, the Yidrosian said. Haha, okay, I admit it, I want you to teach him spirit control. He has a lot of potential and plenty of motivation, so you'll enjoy having him as a student, Mia said, smiling at him. I understand. Then let's start by helping him recover. Please follow me, he told the goddess of destruction and then entered the house to guide her to a room and lay Goku on a bed. Thanks Pyrala, by the way, can you bring us something to eat? I'm starving and I'm sure Whis is too, Miu said with her hands on her abdomen. Ha! I'm sorry for not offering before. You'll have to wait for me to cook, so if you'll excuse me, I'll go start, said the Yardatrian before leaving the room and going to the kitchen. Miu took the opportunity and went back outside to Whis, who was sitting there staring into nothing. Pyrala went to cook us something, she said as she sat down next to the angel. Mrs. Miu was called seriously while directing his gaze towards her. What do you have in mind? He asked her with curiosity. What do you mean? I asked for food because I'm hungry and you surely are too, Miu replied while shrugging. I wasn't talking about that. I mean, doing everything you do for Son Goku. We even returned to Yidrit after 1,000 years. Will you also complete the training you left pending here? Whis asked her with great curiosity. Whis, Miu called while directing her gaze to the sky. I said it once and I will say it again. I love Son Goku. I don't care if he is strong or mortal. I love him with all my being. Even our family is on the way. Then she looked back at the angel. He wants to be strong. That's why I asked you to train him. And if you refused, I would do it myself. As for the training I left here, I will pick it up and finish it if I can, hee, Miyu replied and then smiled. Mrs. Miyu was whispered with a slight smile while watching the goddess look back up at the sky. Undoubtedly her mother would be very proud of the person she has become. Really unknowingly she is following in her mother's footsteps. I still remember when Mrs. Diana completed the spirit control training, the angel thought to himself, reminiscing nostalgically about the old times. Day by day passed, Miyu never left Goku's side. She even bathed him every day, while Whis and Pyrala talked almost all the time until finally the Saiyan opened his eyes. Goku was gradually opening his eyes. The first thing he did after fully opening them was to look to the side and see Miyu sleeping in a chair. The Saiyan got up, dressed since he was only in boxers, and when he did, he took Miyu's chin and planted a small short kiss on her before whispering, "Good morning, Miyu," in her ear, causing the goddess of destruction to wake up and, seeing the Saiyan in front of her, jumped on him and started kissing him all over his face. "Goku! You finally woke up," she said before resting her head on the Saiyan's chest and starting to sob. The Saiyan started to gently stroke the goddess's hair. "I'm sorry, I handled things poorly, but well, we learn from mistakes, right?" "Hee," the Saiyan said cheerfully. Miyu looked at him with her watery eyes and then rested her face on his chest again. "Silly, I thought I would lose you. I was trying not to give up, but my body wouldn't respond. I felt like everything inside me was being torn apart. But when you gave me that news, it gave me enough strength to hold on until the pain disappeared, and then I passed out," Goku replied while scratching the back of his neck. Miyu smiled softly and then looked at the Saiyan. A slight blush had taken over her cheeks, "So," she said while playing with her fingers. Goku smiled and put his hands on Miyu's waist and then lifted her up. "You have made me the happiest man in the whole world." The goddess hugged the Saiyan. "I love you, my dear," she whispered before kissing him passionately, but suddenly the door opened. "Is Mrs. Miyu here?" Pyrala asked politely until she saw the couple scene. "Oh, my apologies," she apologized and quickly left the room. Goku and Miyu separated from the kiss and looked at each other for a few seconds before bursting into laughter. "Come, I'm going to introduce you to our master," Miyu said to the Saiyan before taking his hand. Goku was surprised. Had he heard correctly? "Did you say, our master?" But he was stopped by a finger on his lips. "Courtesy of Miyu. Honey, just follow me, okay?" she said with a tender smile and a kind tone that hypnotized the Saiyan, who could only nod at his partner. After leaving the room, they went outside, and there was Whis on one side, talking through his staff, and on the other side was the Yadrashan apparently meditating. "Where are we?" Goku asked as soon as they went outside and saw that it was neither Namek nor Earth. "We are in Yadrit, and that man sitting over there will be our teacher. Pyrala. Stop doing those weird things and come here," I shouted at the Yadrashan, who stopped meditating and came over to where they both were. "I see that Mr. Goku has woken up," I commented upon seeing the Saiyan. "Don't act like that. You saw us kissing." "Well, anyway, Goku, this is Pyrala. He is the leader of the Yadrashans, and he will teach us spirit control," Miyu said very excitedly. "Hee, I'm sorry. I was looking for her. So, do you want to start right now or after lunch?" asked the Yadrashan, causing Goku and Miyu to exchange glances complicatedly. How good the food was," said Goku while leaning back in the chair. "I must admit that you are very skilled in the kitchen, Pyrala," Miyu told the Yadrashan while giving him a thumbs up. "Hee, thanks. Your compliments honor me. Well, it's about time, right?" he asked both of them and then saw Whis, who continued talking through his staff. "Isn't he going to eat?" "That's right. We have to work off this food by training, right, Goku?" Miyu exclaimed excitedly, looking at the Saiyan, who stood up quickly. "Yes. I can't wait to find out what kind of training we're going to have," said Goku, shaking with excitement. Hee hee, well, Pyrala said, looking to the side. Ms. Miu is halfway through her training. Now comes the hardest part, and as for you, I just hope you don't give up, he said as a little anime-style droplet fell down the back of his neck. Don't give up? What could he have meant by that? Goku thought to himself. Don't worry about Whis. He'll eat later. Let's get started already, he shouted, raising his fist. As night fell, Goku and Miu were coming out of the shower when they encountered Whis, who looked very serious. What's wrong, Whis? Miu asked curiously. Daishinkan called, immediately summoning the destroyer gods for a meeting. He replied to the goddess of destruction. Task, well, Goku, you will meet several destroyer gods who are not doing their job, he said, placing his hand on the Xian's shoulder. Seriously? Does that mean I will meet everyone? Awesome! He exclaimed excitedly. No, that's not happening. Mr. Goku won't be able to attend, said Whis, but in the end, Miu turned around. If my Goku doesn't go, I won't go. If you're worried that those arrogant ones will try to hurt him, don't worry, I'll simply kill them, he replied with a kind smile. Oh, you don't change, Mrs. Miu, but that's alright, I'll allow it because you're pregnant. Just try not to get into trouble, Whis warned her. PFFF, as if I would get myself into trouble, replied Miu, making a pout. Haha Miu, let's do what Whis says or we will make him look bad too, right? Goku told her with a slight smile. Alright, fine, let's go already, exclaimed Miu, and the three of them headed towards Xenosama's palace.